and welcome to a series of videos about the cars, or some of the cars I've owned from my very first car, and some of the interesting ones I've had to the car I currently have, which is standing right behind me, or rather parked right behind me. This is an addition to the series English Just For You, because it's going to be in English completely. So I hope you enjoy it, and if you have any comments or feedback, just write or mention it in the comments. So hope you enjoy the series.
My first car was a Triumph Dolomite 1300 in pageant blue. The year of manufacture was 1978. I bought this car in I think December of 1905 at Swindon Car Auctions of all places, and I think I paid something like £750 for it, so that was something like a month's salary or maybe a little bit more. So it was my first car, and I do remember a lot of things about it. As far as the equipment is concerned, or rather the lack of equipment, there was no air conditioning, no ABS, no power steering, practically nothing. There was only a mirror on the right driver's door. There's a door mirror, there were no ring mirrors, so I added a mirror on the left side. I had the car for 2.5 years. By the way, the engine was a single carburetor, so there was no injection system. Very few cars had injection systems in those days, and I used it practically on a daily basis to work and on some trips such as to Wales, to the coast like Weston-super-Mare or Bournemouth, and even I think on one occasion down to Devon to Plymouth. So it was a relatively reliable car. There were pluses. It was quite comfortable. It had leather seats and a wooden dashboard, a genuine wooden dashboard, which is quite rare these days. Only I think very expensive luxury cars have wooden dashboards nowadays. So it was relatively reliable, but I did have a few incidents. There was the occasion when the exhaust fell off whilst I was driving. I didn't think such things happened, so that's something I learnt the hard way. In fact, most of the things that happened, these so-called incidents, were learning things the hard way. I slightly dented the front part of the nose, next in the front, in the centre, when I went into a hook near the Magic Roundabout in Swindon. I did run out of petrol without realising it near the fire station, again near the Magic Roundabout. I didn't know what happened. The car suddenly stopped, but it was due to lack of petrol. I didn't think you needed to put any coolant into cars, and there was an occasion where the car almost overheated, the engine almost overheated due to there being no coolant there. So, you learn by your mistakes, and sometimes it's the hard way. Oh, and I did ruin one engine. In fact, I didn't top up with oil. Either I forgot or I didn't think it was necessary, and I blew one engine, the original engine of the car. My father did put in a replacement, used replacement from the scrapyard. I think it was from a normal Triumph 1300 engine. So it did have a second life, this car. The engine incident happened just a few miles from home when I was coming back from London, and it started clattering. The car did have some problems apart from these incidents, just like with a lot of Leyland cars of the time. There was a problem with corrosion, especially on the doors, on the rear, sorry, on the bottom. Those were the main places. In fact, I tried to patch them up with some filler, so do it yourself. And there was, for some time, the smell of petrol in the car. I think maybe that was due to perhaps some piping or some leakage. No idea, but thanks to my father, that particular problem was eradicated. So I had the car for 2.5 years. It was my first, as I've said, and I decided to sell it for a mere £125. I think it was a bit too cheap because I had lots of phone calls, and I sold it to the first guy. I think, if I remember rightly, it wasn't running on all gears or all cylinders. So from what I remember, the guy who bought it also went to some Skittles evenings that we had at one of the clubs, and I did see that car for the next year or so, and he changed the left front door. It was a yellow door he put in. So that's the story of my Triumph Dolomite AMV 654T. So a car that I do remember very, very well, which provided me with a lot of pleasure. Thank you. And don't forget to subscribe.